True peace, true peace. Happy holy day, peacemakers. Happy holy day. Welcome to branch temple number 24 of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We are a global branch temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed that they may learn to love instead of hate. Come link yourself with the family of nations where we honor all true and divine prophets. You can link yourself with the family of nations by clicking that block of words at the top that say World Temple, and join us here every Friday for Holy Day Temple service and Sunday for newcomers gathering. We look forward to seeing you and joining in with us, locking in. First thing first, I want to give honors to the divine creator. I want to give honors to the prophet, Noble Ali. I want to give honors to all those that came before the prophet, such as Deuce Ali and Honorable Marcus Garvey, the forerunner. I want to give honors to those that came after the prophet, such as Hakeem Bey, C.M. Bey, and Dr. Malachi Z.O.L., the master teacher. I want to give honors to all those that will be here in participation tonight. You can be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. Whether you're coming in listening to the replays or you coming in from listening on YouTube, which I'm gonna be posting a link to that here in a second. That way you guys could join us, and we're gonna get started for today. We have been starting a lot more earlier than usual, so please be aware if you haven't already. We're starting more early now than we usually do, so not sure if that affects people's schedules or anything like that, but nonetheless, we was already a small room, but it really doesn't matter. We kind of like it's small on this side of the clubhouse. But nonetheless, we're gonna get started. Just share the room. About to post the link at the top, and we're gonna get started here for today with our divine supplication. And you all could join us and tap in with us. Here on Clubhouse or any one of our other social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, even Instagram, which we are mainly more on here on. Mainly, you catch us more on here on Clubhouse or YouTube. Really, did a live meditation session yesterday. For those that like to participate, join in with us. It's a lot more things that we're gonna have coming that we're gonna be broadcasting or streaming, however you like to refer to it. So first thing first, let's jump right into our divine supplication for this week's holy day. Hope everyone is enjoying the holy day. So we can get started. All right, so we're gonna kick things off with our divine supplication. And as y'all know, we begin our prayers and thinking by using the name of the source, the All, O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the worlds. We do accept the duty you have laid on us to clean up the filth made by the West and his non-submitting fools. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us to control the streams of the courses of our lives. Our sustainer, and if we do wrong, please show our divine blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us true followers of the news bearers, and in thy name, we carry on. All right, y'all, so we're going to slide on to our daily affirmations for this week. And these affirmations you should be reading with your family because they're very strong and powerful affirmations, especially for the mind, for you to raise upright individuals in your household as a family. These are principles that we, as Moorish, Nubians, Sabians, Etherians, these are principles that we should be abiding by. These are things that we accept as fact as a people. And these daily affirmations are called what we accept as fact, the daily affirmation of loyalty of the children of the Elohim. And as they state, we accept as fact the eternal laws of nature as revealed through science, past events, logic, and common sense, revealed as right knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We accept as fact the highest laws of nature is the cooperation and harmony of all living things. We accept as fact our way of life is a means to the best end. We accept as fact that loyalty is the greatest of all honors and treason is the worst of all crimes. We accept as fact that what is good for the Holy Tabernacle is the highest virtue, and what is bad for the Holy Tabernacle is the ultimate evil. We accept as fact that the Holy Tabernacle is the finest and noblest organization for all humanity, created by circumstances, and the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek is the noblest of fraternities on and above this planet. We accept as fact that creativity, love, and cooperation are the essence of success. We accept as fact that truth and facts are always and has always been the originator and creator of all success. We accept as fact that all worthwhile cultures and civilizations came about from the ancient Sumerians and Camite Egyptians and the Anunnaki, or Elohims from the heavens, without which there would be none. We accept this fact that for the Holy Tabernacle to survive, expand, and advance, we need, first of all, a revolution of values and thoughts, which must start within each person by being truthful with themselves and about themselves. Therefore, we completely and categorically reject all myths, fictions, religions, and lies that have not been proven. That would include your heavens, your hell, your hellfire and brimstones, your haunted pitchfork devils, your winged angels, and your old man God character sitting on the throne up there somewhere. We deal strictly with facts. If you can't prove it, we don't want to hear it. That doesn't mean we won't listen to you. Just don't expect us to accept your beliefs by virtue of a title such as Reverend, Pastor, Deacon, Imam, Sheik, Rabbi, Minister, Theologian, etc. That is your sensationalism, and we deal with just the facts. We accept this fact that the only true revolution is a war of good against evil, right against wrong, fairness against unfairness, loyalty against disloyalty, sincerity against insincerity, honesty against dishonesty, and this war fought within each person among the agreeable and disagreeable Elohims that make up your willpower. We accept this fact that the unity of our community and its success will only happen with cooperation with all involved. We accept this fact that total unification of all humanity on the basis of truth, that is, accepting people and races for who and what they are, respecting their culture, their languages, and their beliefs, and expect the same. We accept this fact that the human race's biological and cultural heritage is now under attack by our own morals, our self-righteousness, our desire to control industry, and these things attack the very existence of humanity. We accept this fact that males as well as females are equal in all things and should be dealt with as partners in all matters. We accept this fact that no one race of people is better than the other. In fact, no one wins the race in racism. We accept this fact that communication between different people is the cure to the ignorance that breeds the disease hate. We accept this fact that a good and well-rounded education could prevent most of the ignorance that plagues the world. We accept this fact that the all is just that, the all. You can't take from the all, you can't add to the all. We are all within the all is one. That is our concept of what you call a deity. To the fulfillment of these facts, we children of the Elohim forever pledge our lives, our sacred honor, and our spiritual zeal. All right, y'all. So we're gonna jump right into our Moorish prayer and divine constitution, and continue on with our weekly reading of the Holy Qur'an, Circle 7, as we open up the floor for tonight and start our banking section. So, y'all know how it go. 2 fingers up, 5 fingers up, facing the east, feet at a 45-degree angle. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. All right, so we're going to jump right into the divine constitution and bylaws. as they read. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father better love. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Temple of America. No members to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Zabuwr, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from the Holy Prophet, Zabuwr, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Alright. So, we're going to get right into our weekly readings here. For this week. And we're going to open up with our I don't know if they're working on the chat or something. I'm trying to type in the chat. Let's see if that works. There's something going on with the chat, y'all. Not too sure. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into our weekly readings of the Holy Qur'an Circle 7. And every week we start out with chapter 25 of the Holy Qur'an Circle 7. Chapter 25 is called A Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. And as I state every week, it is the precursor for all actions, intents, and behaviors of Moorish people. So you want to keep that in consideration of your actions and your intentions before you think upon them, before you act upon them. So, chapter 25, called the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, as it reads, "Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. That the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other." All right. So first thing I'm thinking of, first thing for this week that comes to mind is, if you notice, us as Moorish people, especially those what they call more Jews, like the Jewish, you have the Moorish, we are those original people. So we have things that we have to stick by, the principles we have to stand on, and it should be a unity thing. When it comes to us. So this is very important, especially when we're doing things like, being active here on Clubhouse or being active on any other platform. It is the lack of support from ourselves, from us as a people, and getting caught up in things that are of the ways of the world more so than understanding the principle behind supporting each other and supporting the divine and national movement through each other. So just wanted to make that clear on what was resonating with me from this week's reading from chapter 25. So we're going to jump to chapter 47 and 48. And we're going to open up for this week. So chapter 47 is called Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. And it reads, the inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, they were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sovereign from the land of Canaan, seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across Great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile westward across the Great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, Black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There's no one who was able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator law himself. These holy and divine laws are from the prophet Zabuwr, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the grand major temples to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. The prophet Zabuwr, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics to repent from all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and awful day that is sure to come. The time is come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess its own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation is suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, Black, and Color was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honor not the principles of their mother and father, and straight after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. So it's a lot more. It's a lot more for unpacking here. It's a lot more for unpacking here in the Moorish Science Temple of America on the knowledge that we have access to in accomplishments as Moorish peoples. But beyond our accomplishments, it's the workings that we need to focus on. Because in the divine constitution, it simply states we as a people must be industrial, clear cut. And as we see the great Pharaoh of Egypt, who allowed the Moabites, the Moorish people of that day and time, in and continue things on since then, from the standpoint of the Moabites, being the Moabites are who Yahshua HaMashiach actually descends from, if you really look into the text of the Bible. So this is what the prophet was really alluding to, is that we are the Moabites, we are those Hadadawa, we are those Baja, we are those ancient indigenous tribes that are related to the Mashiach, the Messiah. So this is what we must keep in mind, that in today's understanding of what it means to be Christ-like or Christian, etc., is our people's lack of understanding that we had our own way of life, we had our own culturalisms, even the whole controversy behind Thanksgiving, and misunderstanding that Thanksgiving is actually an indigenous holiday. And that's something that we came up with as a people, and understanding that trade and even transportation during that time. Let's say trade and transportation. So transportation has been something, even as it is considered a luxury in today's time. Transportation has been one of the things that we have been establishing long ago, whether it was by boat or by carriage, etc. These are things that we have been involving ourselves in for many years, millennia, since time immemorial perhaps. So with that, we're going to jump into chapter 48. Chapter 48, called The End of Time, in the fulfilling of the prophecies. And as it reads, the last prophet in these days is Noble Ali, who is prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways, and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, to warn and stir up the nation, and prepare them to receive the divine creed, which is to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days, there came a forerunner of Jesus, who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who is to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of man, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. It is a subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc., that the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of man under love, true peace, freedom, and justice. We as a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenant of the great God Allah, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God Allah had given thee. Come, all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes, none of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We're trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourself with the family of nations. We honor all true and divine prophets. All right, y'all. So I'm not sure if the chat is still messed up. I think they're working on some things here on Clubhouse. So we're gonna jump into this banking section. Yeah, this week. And I touched on the industrialization part because that's also what we're discussing here. Industrialization. How to industrialize our environment, our economy. So when we get into the history of banks, it's a lot to unpack as well with the things we just went through with unpacking the history behind the monetary system as a whole. So getting into the history of banks is something we definitely gonna be pondering on for a while now. Because many of us do not know these things as a people, and actually how it connects back to the ancient and divine creed of things. How being industrial is a part of the ancient and divine creed. How economics is a part of, and extends from the ancient and divine creed. Because that's the point of us going through this series, is to wake the mind up and wake it up, as they like to say, wake it up about how finances is actually connected to our ancient and divine creed. And it was one of the things that the prophet was trying to let it be known, is that we need to create our own economy and create economies of scale. These are things that need to be done. And so for reference point, we're going to use this link. I don't know if it's just the chat messing up or what. Okay, there you go. Let's see if it'll let me put the link in here. So the link is in the chat for reference points of what we're going to be touching on for tonight. And we're going to close out this monetary series with getting into the history of banking, and just banking, not necessarily in its entirety, but where these concepts come from, and actually how they actually originated with the temple. As we touched on a bit in the early part of the monetary series, how a lot of these things are coming from the temple structure. Like I said, the ancient and divine creed. So we're going to get into these reference points, and we're going to pretty much affirm the things that we have already talked about and discussed in our previous monetary series, our previous Koopas in the monetary series. So let's get straight to it. So the reference point that we're reading from is Wikipedia. I put the link in the chat, and all of you listening from YouTube or anywhere else, you just type in history of banking. go to Wikipedia, and then you know how they change things sometimes. So you can definitely look at another link, but it'll still give you reference point to the same information that we're reading about here. So, starting out, it states that the history of banking began with the first prototype banks, that is, the merchants of the world, who gave grain loans to farmers and traders who carried goods between cities. This is around 2000 BC in Assyria, India, and Sumer. Later in ancient Greece and during the Roman Empire, lenders based in temples gave loans, while accepting deposits and performing the change of money. Archaeology from this period in ancient China and India also shows evidence of money lending. So as I stated, this goes all the way back to the ancient and divine creed. This goes all the way back to the ancient and divine creed. So I gotta save that for if I can get the screenshot here, okay. Just so in case they change it later on in the future, but we'll just have to see how they go. But we seeing or hearing right there that finances were structured through the temple-based loans. And this was done in ancient Greece, and they got it from the Hebrews who done this with the shekel and things like that we mentioned earlier. And this goes all the way back to ancient Sumer, to ancient Babylon, to ancient Assyria, to ancient Akkad, India. At that time would be called Kushtan. To ancient Kish, which is another way of saying Ethiopia. Kish, Kush. All right, continue on. It states, money scholars trace the historical roots of the modern banking system to medieval and Renaissance Italy, particularly the affluent cities of Florence, Venice, and Genoa. The Bardi and Peruzzi families dominated banking in 14th century Florence, establishing branches in many other parts of Europe. The most famous Italian bank was the Medici Bank, established by Giovanni Medici in 1397. The oldest bank still in existence is Banca Monte dei Paschi di Siena, headquartered in Siena, Italy, which has been operating continuously since 1472 until the end of 2002. The oldest bank still in operation was Banco de Napoli, headquartered in Naples, Italy, which had been operating since 1463. So let's talk about this time period in this era. What was happening during this time period? Because that is still within the 700 years that they say the Moors ruled Spain and Italy. So we have to be able to put two and two together. This is the influence of the Moorish people coming there and establishing these banks, showing them commerce and trade. And when you get into the history of the Medici family, these are some of the top names in the conspiracy theories that come up. For those that know a little bit about the so-called powers that be, these are some of those top names that come up in the conspiracy, especially things that are surrounding the church. Especially surrounding the church, and why we say, well, we're giving them back Christianity back, as That's how they structured for the Europeans. We're giving them back that. That is what we giving. We definitely giving them back. That that sheesh, that ish. But continuing on. Continuing on, it states development of banking spread from northern Italy throughout the Holy Roman Empire and in the 15th and 16th century to northern Europe. This was followed by a number of important innovations that took place in Amsterdam during the Dutch Republic in the 17th century and in London since the 18th century. During the 20th century, developments in telecommunication and computing caused major changes to bank operations, and that banks dramatically increased in size and geographic spread. The financial crisis of 2007 to 2008 caused many bank failures, including some of the world's largest banks, and provoked much debate about bank regulation. All right, so that's just a real quick summary of what we know about today, understanding of banking and how it spread through the Roman Empire by the Holy Roman Empire, which is actually established by a Moorish person called Saint Augustine, who was Moorish. So these things that are a part of our culture that go all the way back to the Moorish head at the Vatican, as we talked about plenty of times before, things like that. True peace, everyone. This week we had technical difficulties and our audio got cut off on Clubhouse while we were recording. And I'm sorry about that, but we will definitely be back next week. True peace. Wadu.